Hey, what's going on, fam? I pray all is well. Not long ago, I was asked what is some of the greatest advice that I share with couples who are going through premarital counseling. And I'm led to share this on this platform that it may help someone that it applies to. One of the important things to know, it depends on the couple. It depends on how long the couple has been together. I can have a couple who's been together for 10 years and decide to get married. And I can also have a couple that's only been together for 10 months and decide to get married. So it's based on how long the couple has been together, how much history they have with each other regarding what I'm led to share with them that may be helpful. I'm going to share with you some things that I think that is very important that should apply to all couples, regardless. But I'm not going to share with you everything. It'll take too much time. But number one, and this may sound cliche-ish, but it's real. Number one is keep God first. Period. Keep God priority. Number one, if you're coming to me for premarital counseling, you're going to know that you're going to get God talk, not anything outside of that. You're going to get God talk. Keep God number one, period. God first. Everything and everyone is after that. God first, everything and everyone after that. And you must be on the same page regarding that. Your spirituality, your faith on the same page. God first, everything and everyone after that. Another thing I share that's very important is be patient with your relationship or marriage, especially if you don't have a lot of history together. Being patient means don't be in a rush to do everything so soon right after you leave the altar. We got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do this, we got to do that. If you don't have kids and you're able to have kids and we got to have children and I want all these children. Don't rush the process. Don't rush the journey. It is critical to embrace the journey of getting to know your spouse first. It is critical to get to know your spouse first. It is different to be a spouse versus just your dating. I don't care if you're living together. It is different being married than you just dating or you just live together as a couple. Difference. When you're married, you become one. When you're married, you give up the right for your own privacy. You give up so much when you are married because it's no longer about you. When you're just dating, and even if you live together and you're a couple, you could either live together or you have your own place. At any given time, you can be like, look, I'm fed up. I'm going home. Whatever the case may be. It's different when you're married. When you're married, it's different. You become one. The choices are unified. Embrace the journey because marriage is a marathon, not a sprint. Embrace the journey, and it is critical to learn and love the journey of getting to know your spouse before you do a whole bunch of elaborate things. Before you know it, time go by, and it may be only a couple years. And if all you did is rush to do so much, the marriage can get stale and boring because you did so much too soon. So enjoy the journey. Another thing I suggest is study your mate non-verbally. Verbal communication, top of the list, very important. But study your mate non-verbally. Observe your mate when they're not looking at you. Look at your mate and observe their body language. Observe their mannerisms when they're not looking at you, when they're not aware that you're watching them. Observe them, not creepy now, but observe your mate. Because one of the most effective ways of communicating is non-verbally. A person can say one thing, but their body language says something else. A person can say a whole lot via their body language and their mannerisms versus their mouth. So it is critical to learn your mate's body language. Learn non-verbal communication with your mate. This way you can know how to please your mate without them having to say certain things. Throughout this journey, you are learning how to please your mate and keep them happy when they don't have to say a word. Very important. Another thing, beloved, is learn your mate's background. Where were they raised? What type of environment was they raised in? What was the culture like? What type of household were they raised in? Were they raised with both parents or just one? Siblings, how many? What was their environment like? Because a person who you're dating, who they are, Their upbringing has a lot to do with who they are and how they are, why they say things the way they do, why they do things the way they do. It's based on the culture and environment that they were raised in. What are their beliefs? How do they view this? How do they view that? How do they see this? Do you agree with them with this? Do they agree with you with this? What was their upbringing like? And this is important because you need to find out a person's history, because some things may be deeply rooted that could be traumatizing, and it could cause that person to be something that ain't really, it's hard for you to handle. Know a person's history, beloved, your mate's history. Learn their background. One of the most important things is learn how they handle money. How does your mate view money? Do they respect it? Are they good as being a steward over money, or do they blow money? Do they know how to handle money properly? I would suggest to you that it takes both to be on the same page, to be a faithful steward over the money, over the finances, not just one. All that old school household, oh, my spouse handled the money and the bills. Because God forbid if that spouse passes away, you don't know what to do now. Know for yourself how to handle money and expect this in your mate. Are they good with money? And you have to be on the same page with financial literacy regarding handling money and finances. The last thing I want to share with you that is very vital, I go deeper, is simply observe your mate. Observing your mate, sitting back and asking this question and giving yourself a transparent answer or answers. God forbid, if something were to happen to my mate after I get married or what have you, God forbid they were in a car accident. They got burned, 3rd-degree burns, face, body. They don't look the same now. Missing limbs, lose their limbs, terminal illness. Something were to happen to them in which they don't look the same, takes away your sexual drive, your intimacy. They don't look the same. They're not as attractive now as they were when you were just dating and things of that nature. Something happened, God forbid something happened that they couldn't control. And now their image has changed. Not only that, let's say they lose their hands. Now they need support full time pretty much. So not only can they not help themselves with their hands, they can't feed themselves. They can't wash themselves. They can't even wipe themselves when they go to the bathroom. So that's up to you as their spouse to do that for them. Can you see yourself wiping your spouse's butt when they go to the restroom? And you shower them, you bathe them, and fecal matter is all over the place because they can't do it. Sit back and observe your mate and ask yourself these difficult questions and be real about the answers. Yes, it depends on if you ever get in that situation. We get that. You don't know until it happens. We get that. But it's very important to sit and observe your mate regarding how much you love them, to ask yourself that question and come up with a transparent answer. I would suggest to you, when you ask these difficult questions, and if the answer is very hesitant, if you like, I don't know if I could do that, man. I don't know if I can wipe her butt. I don't know if I can sit there and watch her go to the bathroom when she stand up and I got to wipe her. I don't know about that, man. That stuff, that's gross. I don't know about all of that. If that's your answer and you hesitant, don't rush to the altar. You ain't ready. Here's why. Marriage is a sacrificial union. Marriage is a sacrificial union where you become servants towards each other. It ain't about you no more, fam. Marriage is a sacrificial union. And that is the part where it's for better or for worse. So if you cringe, if you think about questions such as that, the deep questions, and you ain't ready for that, you ain't ready for the altar. Don't waste her time or his time or yours. And maybe it'll come to that. But if you really feel as though that's inside of you, when you ask yourself that question before you go to the altar, don't rush to the altar just yet. Because marriage is that deep. For real. I pray that this has blessed someone. Heck, I might even give a part two. I don't know. But I was led to share this in regards to premarital advice that I give and questions to ponder and being honest with yourself and answer. You must go through this and think about this before you make a decision, knowing that, look, it ain't all about looks. It ain't all about how much money the person got. Marriage is deeper than that. God bless you and yours.